Hi, I'm Harry and I've had long COVID for the last 4 years, and today I'm going to be talking about searching for that magic cure. This is something that's been very much on my mind recently, and I know a lot of people who've experienced long COVID or these chronic illnesses know exactly what I'm talking about. For the entirety of our lives, we know what we get when we go to a doctor's, right? When we've got a broken bone, we go and get a cast. When we have an infection, we go and get some antibiotics. It's very much a simple exchange and something that we're very much aware of. If there's something wrong, we go to the doctor and they fix us, right? That's how it's always been. But when I've experienced something like long COVID, where you go to the doctor and they simply don't know what to do, they have no idea, they seem at a loss. It's so alienating and it's so confusing. I remember when I first went, I had these horrendous feelings. I was feeling terrible. I had this horrible brain fog, these weird sort of paranoid thoughts. I couldn't train, I couldn't exercise, and I was like, well, what do you mean there's nothing wrong? What do you mean there's nothing on my scans? I found myself in many ways just desperate for them to find something, desperate for them to give me some kind of indication as, okay, this is the issue, even if it's severe, this is the issue, this is what we're going to do to fix it, and then it'll be solved. So it was really a change to experience that kind of loss and despair and kind of being casted out into the medical wilderness. As many of you will have also experienced, you will go from this state of confusion and not knowing what on earth is going on, not knowing what to do, not having any direction, and it'll very much be left to your own devices. So you've gone from expecting to go into the medical setting and be given some kind of treatment or guidance as to what to do next, and suddenly you have to become your own doctor. Because I couldn't live like this. I can't live out the rest of my days feeling like I refuse to do that. So as many of you will have experienced as well, you start going down these rabbit holes and start trying to be your own doctor, trying to figure out what's wrong, what's going to be the best treatments, what are some of the theories, what are some other people who have been here before, what have they done to get better, listening to recovery stories, seeing the latest research, all of which can be incredibly alarming and very much a kind of wilderness and quite a scary place. I know for myself, I went through a lot of phases where I just was obsessed. I knew and felt like I knew that there was some kind of thing that I needed to take or do, some kind of magic pill or cure or bullet or whatever you want to call it, that was going to be the thing that would tip me back over into normality. Because I felt so dysregulated, so strange. It just felt like I needed something that would push me over the line and back to pointing towards health again. And you know, I went down some rogue rabbit holes. You know, I started off with the kind of more conventional route. You know, I'm a physicist. I say physicist. I studied physics. I have a physics background. I'm no Einstein, but I'm obsessed with logic and fact and placebo, double-blind trials. And I would go down all of these papers and these research avenues and try and think of something, the nicotinic pathway, is that going to be the thing that's causing my lack of energy? And it would make relative sense, and I would try these supplements. It started with different medications, but then I started to venture into, as I went more and more down and found that little and little, less and less helped, I started to venture into slightly more experimental stuff. So I had ordered horse pills from the dark web. I'm not going to go into that too much. I've tried various different therapies. I've tried energy healing. I've had therapies where I've stood up over Zoom and stood there and talked to myself to be better again. And yeah, I've tried various stuff in this quest for this magic cure, and I'm sure this will be very relatable to a lot of you guys as well. As I went further down this route, I did find a lot of things that really benefited me in this holistic approach. So cold water therapy, yoga, meditation, brain training has been absolutely invaluable, somatic tracking, but I still was looking for this magic bullet, right? Which brings me on to this silent meditation retreat I did. I thought, if something is beneficial in moderation, why wouldn't it be incredibly beneficial in a higher dose? And that definitely wasn't the case. I thought there was no way that I could feel worse, no way I could do anything that would make me feel even worse than I do right now. And that wasn't the case, because going on that meditation retreat, I developed a kind of psychosis. I had severe paranoia. I had this horrible chest pain, dizziness, depersonalization, and I remember begging and being like, please, could I just get my normal long COVID symptoms back? And thankfully now I'm in a place where I feel almost better actually than I did before the treat, thankfully. But I wanted to make this because I want people to be aware that the magic cure search, it doesn't necessarily mean you're just looking for a pill or whatever. It can be anything. And this kind of blinding idea that there's one thing, one big thing and one big push that I need to do to get myself better. And it's worth trying anything because I can't get any worse than I can now. And I just wanted to put a warning that that is possible to get worse. And it is possible to do something, even a good thing, in such a dose that it causes you to take 10, 15 steps backwards. So I'm very confident in my recovery. I'm feeling so much better, and so many of the holistic things that I talk about have been massively beneficial. And I'm still trying different things and seeing what will aid my recovery. But whether it's pills, whether it's supplements, whether it's meditation or any of these things, I am not searching for that one big push, that big magic cure, that one thing that's going to kind of reset my nervous system, recalibrate my body. I am approaching it in a safe and a supportive environment, a controlled way, and I'm gently iterating on what I'm doing and stacking those little wins and little successes together. So if I'm doing meditation or things that produce an emotional release, I do it in a therapeutic session, and I do a weekly session, not 10 days alone where I'm going to be feeling horrendous. If I'm going to try medication, I'm going to speak with my doctor first. I'm going to make sure that we put a plan together, and I make sure that I test the waters gradually. So, you know, I'm sure that you guys are very much aware of this, and probably been through this journey yourself with this searching for this magic cure. But I just wanted to reiterate that and highlight that it doesn't necessarily just take the form of the looking for a magic treatment, but it can take the form in other therapies as well. So I thought that'd just be a useful insight to share. And yeah, I hope you guys are all well. Wishing you all the very best in your recovery, and stay healthy.